with The Real Cinemas Blackpool and Ballincollig and online at therealpicture.com.
In a world where there's a million movie podcasts, here comes another one from themoviebit.com. This is the podcast.
Christ. Who taught you that technique? A friggin' cheese grater?
Anything gets more than 3 blocks out, you turn it back or you turn it to ash. So you listen to me and you listen well.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to the podcast from themoviebit.com. My name is Victor Barry. Over there is Tom White, who is back from lies and deceit and so on and so forth.
Yeah, those really lies and deceit just coming out of my stomach.
Well, you never. Yeah, I guess the picture or the proof's in the pictures, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Tom is back.
Okay, enough of that.
And we are back on the podcast as per usual. Subscribe on Stitcher and on iTunes. And of course, folkies, we are now on Facebook Live video as well, so you can interact with us live. Or of course, you can also interact simply by emailing podcast@themoviebit.com, and you can hit us up on Twitter as well at themoviebit. So there you go. So do please get in touch, annoy us, commend us, wish we were dead, whatever you want, which that'll probably happen sooner than you fucking think anyway. So that's it. We're at jam-packed show for you today. Probably one of the coolest pieces of trivia ever that we have come up with, and we'll be unleashing our critically acclaimed screen actor on a movie that he isn't starred in. But enough of all of that. The summer is over, okay? The summer has finally come to an end, which is great.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're watching, we had no summer here.
We had a few.
We had 3 or 4 days, but just it was grand.
That's better than we usually get.
I shall to Jesus Christ above.
Stay pulled hard.
Yeah, but pull it up. But what we're going to do, and we're looking for your interaction on this as well, is we're looking for the best and the worst movies of summer 2016. And this wasn't an easy list to come up with.
No.
It was quite difficult to find the best, considering everything was the worst.
The worst was easy.
But look, drop us a comment now. Obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, if you subscribe on Stitcher and iTunes, then podcast at themoviebit.com or at themoviebit on Twitter. But you can drop us a line right now on the Facebook video comments, which are just underneath my groin somewhere. That's where the comments live, people on Facebook. Anyway, we like to start each and every show by teaching you stuff about the movies that you never ever knew, and then you are gratefully indebted to us for eternity. And then when we need a favour, we will come knocking on your door to get it, which you will just close the door in our face. Anyway.
We haven't yet, but we will.
We call this Tom's Trivia 3.
Tom's Trivia Tree.
Right, Tom, what have you got for us this week?
All right, first up, Eric Stoltz.
Mm-hmm.
He was originally cast as Marty McFly in Back to the Future. He's on set for about 2 weeks.
Yep.
We all know he's recast with Michael J. Fox.
Fox?
Michael J. Fox. Fucking hell.
That would be a great kind of porno name.
Yeah, I was about
is there not a Michael J. Fox somewhere? And you could spell it F-U-X?
There has to be Michael J. Cox.
There probably is. Michael J. Fox. Yeah.
I've come to clean your pipes.
Anyway, Michael J. Fox. We all know he's Marty McFly, but Eric Stoltz was in there for 2 weeks, and you can still see him in the original Back to the Future.
Really?
You can see him jumping into the DeLorean when the Libyans first attack.
Oh, okay. All right. Keep going, Tom.
The first draft of Speed, it had didn't have delightful Dennis Hopper. The bomber was originally Harry, who was played by Jeff Daniels, but the filmmakers thought the audience wouldn't accept a 180 turn like that.
Fair enough.
So basically he, in the final film, in the first draft, he did exactly that, and then at the end, he was turned a bad guy. And they would have to have kept the bomber's identity secret, which I think that's the best part of...
Completely,
of
Speed, course.
Is the fact that you see Dennis Hopper, you know that he's doing all this. So yeah, thankfully, they changed that, and we got a much better movie.
Okay, so here is probably one of the coolest pieces of trivia that you're going to see and hear at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like no expense was spared on this.
In John Williams' score for Close Encounters of a Third Kind, the first three notes of A Wish Upon a Star is used as part of a motif.
Okay.
Okay.
So the do, which is okay. So enough of us singing it. Let's play
Badly.
the original Close Encounters theme to give you an idea. It's just a really quick snippet. This will probably shut us down again. Anyway, so
That's anything to do with Scientology.
yeah. So take a
God, I said Scientology.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Shut up. Right. So take a listen to this. Okay. So that was the original.
Yeah.
That's what they used to talk to the aliens and shit. Aliens and shit. So here's the first couple of notes from When You Wish Upon a Star. This is what I was able to find online, which is it's like a music box version.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's go with this. All right. So yeah. So we've heard the two. Okay. So you're saying the first three notes are the same.
Yeah.
Do we know that John Williams did this on purpose?
I don't know. Did he just go a little bit crazy?
Okay, so let's take a listen to the two of them combined. See, it works, and you've no idea how long that took to fucking put together. So that works.
Yeah,
that works. Tom's Trivia True.
Verified.
As opposed to Tom's Trivia 3. Anyway, you can get in touch with us with Shane at The Movie Bit if you're online. If you're watching us right now on Facebook video, on Facebook Live, then you can drop us an old comment-a-roo. And all you got to do is just leave it in the comments. And we're looking for your best or worst movies of summer 2016. That there be many movies, that there be many worst and bad and evil movies. But we'll get to those evil being bad. Yeah, right. Okay, so we're all here, of course, thanks to the Real Picture Cinemas, Blackpool and Ballincollig. They're our official sponsors. You can check them out online at therealpicture.com. Reviews this week. Girl with All the Gifts, 4 stars, brought down only by an occasionally bland aesthetic and some narrative indiscretion. This should rank up there with the best horror of 2016. Magnificent Seven. I had such high hopes for Magnificent Seven.
Same here.
I think everybody did. Certainly some thrills to be had here, but without any real emotional depth. The Magnificent Seven is sadly forgettable. 2 stars, rather. Why did I see 4? My God.
Antoine Fuqua has been such a role lately as well.
Yeah.
Like, Equalizer, Southpaw,
Training Day.
Training Day
is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Training Day is a real masterpiece.
And the start of his collaboration with Denzel.
Mm-hmm. And then Martin as well gives us a review this week for I, Daniel Blake. Ken Loach, I think lots of people are big fans of Ken Loach.
Oh, yeah.
Quietly powerful moving film. The sober tragedies of everyday life are rarely this emotionally devastating. 4 stars. Although if you're feeling a bit down to the dumps, I'd say leave it off.
Don't go see any Ken Loach movie if you're feeling that.
Just leave it off. Best Ken Loach movie?
Oh.
I'm a big fan of The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Wind That Shakes the Barley. Alrighty, so here we go. We are looking for the best summer movies of 2016. We're looking for the worst summer movies of 2016. It hasn't been like an amazing year for movies.
Yeah.
There's very few standout movies out there. I mean, just even from our perspective on the site, 5-star reviews, there hasn't been many. Captain America Civil War, that was April.
Consider
May, June, July, August. So we've nearly gone 6 months without a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Sing Street was back in March. Deadpool was in February. Spotlight in January. The Big Short in January. The Revenant in January. Creed in January. And Room was in January as well. So we got off to a good start, but then the arse fell out of good movies really, really quickly. It just was like Tom's arse last week, basically.
Yeah.
On the ground, dripping off the walls, staining the floor.
I was downward dogging it.
So if we were doing the best movies of the spring, then we'd be here all the time.
Yeah.
Alas, no.
We would never leave you.
Yeah, you don't ever want to hear Tom say that to you, particularly in that kind of creepy tone of voice.
I'd be staring at you like that.
However, when it comes to bad movies, we've had Ben-Hur, Gods of Egypt, The Do-Over, Point Break, Dirty Grandpa, Hitman Agent... Oh, hang on.
That was last year.
That was last year.
Okay, not as bad.
In my head, it feels like there's a lot more bad movies. It's an average year at the very, very best.
There's a lot of disappointing movies this year.
Nothing really lived up to the hype.
No. This summer was built on hype.
Yes, nothing lived up to the hype. And I'm not quite... Well, I am quite sure because the majority of movies have been badly written.
Yeah, they've been...
you can't kind of... like, a director only works off a script.
Yeah, and...
that they're given, and that's it.
There's a few movies going
to talk... Hi, Zach. How are you?
There's a few movies going to talk about. Hi again, Zach.
All right, so look... Will we start with the best?
Yeah,
let's start in a positive, so people don't feel like they're looking at another
shouting and
but before they're looking at another Ken Loach movie. So by the way, just let us know what your best and worst movies of the year are. Well, not the year, but for 2016 at
Summer,
the movie bit, summer 2016, and drop us a comment on the Facebook live video below. So let's get going with the best. Will we start up the very, very, very top?
Yeah.
Okay. Captain America. Civil War.
Our last 5-star movie on the site.
Our last 5-star movie of the site. I think kind of cementing the fact that Marvel know exactly what they're doing. Yeah. And Doctor Strange will either smash that into pieces or reinforce that fact.
Yeah.
We're hoping it'll reinforce it.
I'm quietly confident they'll reinforce it.
Yeah, I think the airport scene in... was that your ass?
No, that was the chair.
Oh, okay.
Memories. The mysterious sound. Go back on the podcast.
They're not memories, Tom. They're nightmares. I think the airport scene was one of the best scenes of the year.
And it was in the middle of the movie.
Do we... without giving anything away, just in case you're one of these people who haven't seen it, Ant-Man had the scene of the year, I think. Definitely, if not he's one of the top 3 or 4 scenes of the year.
Yeah, there's two... From this summer, there's 2 scenes of the year for me, is that and another movie we'll talk about later. Yeah, Ant-Man, my God, that scene was amazing.
Yeah, and it's a scene, and that whole airport scene, you could...
15-20 minutes.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. You could watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it again.
You could say it's what the movie's building towards.
Yeah, but then it kind of does that and then some.
Then it builds towards something else.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the Russos, I think, took a little bit of inspiration from Joss Whedon.
A little bit,
just a smidgen.
They're like an inspiration drawer, and they just like took a bag of it.
And look at Joss Whedon now, kids. He's making videos with Robert Downey Jr. saying, "Don't vote Trump." And if you vote for the other one in the States, Mark Ruffalo will get his dick out.
Yep.
Honest to God, it's true.
We're all winners.
Are we?
I don't know.
Tom wants to see some Hulk dick. Actually, that should have been the question they asked Mark Ruffalo. Will you be as the Hulk when you get your dick out? Or will you... Yeah, anyway, let's not get weird anymore.
Yep.
All right, next up. So we're saying Captain America is one of the best movies of summer 2016. I think it's pretty faultless.
Yeah. They're... Like, people have and will find little niggles with it, but for me, it's a perfect story, a perfect movie. Everything is explained. There's nothing there that you're going, hang on, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Zemo's plan is very close to Lex Luthor's from Batman v Superman, but it makes a lot of sense. And if you watch it, that plan could have not come about, which I think is really clever.
Okay.
I think it's one of the best Marvel movies as well of the MCU.
You know what? If anything, it shows how the Marvel movies have matured
Yeah.
and evolved to this point.
And they didn't need to. They matured, but didn't need to go gritty.
Yeah.
They kept fun. They kept the fun tone.
Okay, the next two, and we're talking about the best movies of the summer 2016. This is a kind of summer wrap up because we're well clear of the summer now. Finding Dory, which I haven't seen, and I haven't seen the next best movie of the summer either.
It was all me.
So yeah, it's all Tom.
God, like
But finding like you know, when Pixar were known for such original tales, you'd always feel a little bit disappointed when there was a Toy Story 2 or 3. Just a smidge, and you're like, fuck
and then
it.
you watch it.
And then you watch it and go, hang on, what the fuck, Cars 2?
Okay.
But I think Nemo is one of the most successful movies for Pixar, especially from a younger kid's perspective.
Yeah.
It's very relatable, it's very digestible. They made a bomb on the toys. And finally, there was a sequel, and it was all about Dory.
Dory, yeah. And kind of one thing that struck me, being about Dory, who was like the comic relief of Nemo, even though she had like a emotional core to it as well. This is Pixar's best attempt at doing a full blown comedy, and it works. It's there is a lot of emotion to it, and it is a parable for dealing with disability. It's Dory's memory loss is played as a child with disability, and they don't force it down your throat. It's not ham-fisted. It's really gently done. It's really nicely done, and you'll have a tear in your eye, but you'll have a bigger smile on your face. And look, if you have kids, you've seen this already. If you were a kid when the movie came out, you've seen this already. It was of a movie that was built of a summer that was built on the back of big blockbusters and continuations of franchises and starting on new franchises. This was thrown in the middle, and it held its own, and just on pure nostalgia alone, and the final scene, you know what I'm talking about, is just a laugh riot and just visually amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And also something else that I get to see. It'll probably be the Blu-ray now at obviously at this stage for me, and that is another Star Trek movie.
Yep, Star Trek Beyond,
which we all kind of felt looked shit. The trailers were a disgrace. The trailers kind of really disappointed everybody. It's like, it's gone back to the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Flower fucking gardens. What is it like the, you know?
Yeah, like a lot of people thought this wouldn't work after J.J. Abrams left. Like, and what the good thing about it is that Justin Lin, who directed Fast and Furious from 4 till 6, who thought he could actually make this work. I think that's everybody's problem. Goes, it's going to be different. It's going to be just cheesy, and yes, it's old school. It harks back to the olden days, the original series, and kind of early days of Next Generation, and yet they needed that because this is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and it works as just, again, it's nostalgia. It's a nostalgia trip, but as much as I loved the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, they weren't Star Trek. They were Star Wars.
That's why I probably like them.
Yeah, so they're kind of missing that just like
old curmudgeon fuck shit crap.
Yes, if someone can translate that for me, that's what it was missing.
I just always look at the original Star Trek stuff as just clunky, curmudgeon-y, fucking just...
Are we talking original series?
The original series, and even, you know, when you go back and you look at the next... And I was kind of a fan of the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Just to me, in my head, old Star Trek is kind of umbrellaed by the original series. And I felt, even looking at the trailers for Star Trek Beyond, it seemed to scream that.
Yeah.
And I guess if it's the 50th anniversary, that's fine. Put JJ back in for the next one.
No, keep Justin in.
Okay.
Because this has a spark that was missing from the other one. It has a spark of just fun and just good humour about it. And it's not this big... One thing that I hated about the two J.J. Abrams movies as well, There was always a big conspiracy, and they always, for a franchise built on exploring planets and going as far out in the galaxy as you can, they always end up back on Earth. Like, you have this big franchise where you can do anything with, you can go anywhere in the universe, and he goes, oh no, we'll just stay here. We'll just stay on Earth. And the first thing that Beyond does, it's in the middle, it's 3 years into their 5-year mission. Earth is just a distant memory to them, and it builds this story that by no means is it a smartly written story, but it's, I'm going to use that word again, fun. Idris Elba is great as the bad guy. His origin is kept for the last like 10 minutes. They need to switch that around, kind of maybe earlier on, find out more about him, because you can't really get that much behind him because you don't know what he's about. But once it kicks into the third act, the third act starts off with my scene of the year. I'm going to say it now. Screw the airport scene. I've decided.
Tom's decided, people. That's what it's all about.
For me, you have your own opinions.
That her letter falls off the Hollywood sign. Tom's made his decision.
Yeah.
Boom.
It starts off with just this amazing scene that uses what a lot of people hated about the trailer, the Beastie Boys. And just when you see it, let me know what you think of this scene. I think it's absolutely amazing, and it just got me out of my seat. I was just like sitting on the edge, just like punching the air. Just so much fun.
You can't really be brought anywhere.
No.
Okay, and then we only have one more. Well, sorry, I have two. Okay, one of them isn't the best, but it's the better, and I think we should just squeeze it in there.
Okay,
and that's the BFG.
All right.
Okay, by the skin of its teeth. Steven Spielberg's take on Roald Dahl's BFG is just a nice movie, you know, which is kind of
it's a nice movie.
And it's just as nice.
That's Steven. He made a nice movie.
So just as like having a ham sandwich, it was nice. There was no mustard or anything in it, but it was nice. Yeah. Oat milk and fucking cows.
Say polar.
But it was just a kind of a heartwarming movie. It was touching. You couldn't felt by just being touched by the innocence of the whole movie, and it just kind of left you with this warm, glowing feeling.
Classic Spielberg
without fucking dinosaurs and spaceships that had giants.
If you believe some people, they're the same thing.
Well, that's true too. So the BFG just fucking, you know, it's actually...
Let's throw it in there.
That's just in there. But for me, the movie that I probably enjoyed as much as Captain America Civil War, which I think it's fair to say we are saying that's the best movie of the summer.
Yeah.
There is nothing else that will come close.
No.
Somewhere Spielberg's watching this. Come on, the BFG. Come on, the BFG. Send them fucking money.
Send them a fruit basket. A giant one.
But for me, it's a tie thing for me, and it's an Irish film. It's, for me, one of the best movies of summer 2016 is The Young Offenders. It's just such a refreshing change when it comes to Irish film.
Yeah.
Somebody's going on here, he fucking goes. No, I'm not. It's already after pulling in 500,000. It's double its box office from last week again, which is insane.
That's unheard of in Ireland. Movies here don't make 1 million. Movies here don't make 1 million.
Use your own mic. Keep away from me. I'm too close to you as it fucking is.
That's an amazing feat and well done.
And it's after being picked up in the States as well for distribution. Subtitles included possibly. But The Young Offenders is just a movie that... And yes, you can say that people are jumping on the Young Offenders bandwagon, but it's selling out cinemas night after night, day after day. People are genuinely going in there, and I think amidst the dregs of shite that has come from Hollywood for this summer and this year, this is an incredibly refreshing change.
Yeah, you need something new.
You know, while from the Corkonian perspective, we can go see All On City on the big screen, like, you know. that doesn't have a fucking zombie movie or a fucking thing about misery or anything, or Michael Collins or anything like. But for everybody else, it's just a good, fun movie. Yeah, it kind of drags out one or two places, one or two characters, a little bit unbelievable. But for the best part, and we give it 4 stars. Young Offenders is compulsive viewing. It's a must watch.
Yeah.
As is Captain America and Civil War. But congrats to the people, Peter Foot and all the cast there for Young Offenders, because I don't think anybody thought it would do this kind of business.
No. I thought it'd do well, but not 500 million well. Not 500,000 well.
Somewhere
500 million.
Really? Fuck, why am I still in here?
The movie bit said so. It must be true.
Okay, so now we get to the worst, and we get to the worst. Kieran just...
Or time to shine.
Yeah, Kieran just jumps in there. Kieran Kelly on Facebook Live. The Young Offenders is class. Saw it last night. Absolutely. Go see it. I think I'm going to go see it again.
Yeah.
Before it goes out, because it's just one of those things that, you got to see it again because it just makes you fucking piss your pants laughing. Brian is on Facebook Live. Brian White says, Life on the Road, David Brent. Definitely the worst movie so far of 2016. Yes, that was the one I was going to begin with, really.
Okay.
It's, all you David Brent fans are probably disgusted at that fact, but nonetheless, it's...
Here we are.
Here we are. What are you going to fucking do about it? What else? I suppose we'll save the worst to last, shall we? Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh, God.
Independence Day Resurgence was just a cataclysmic, what the fuck have they done?
Was that one of the biggest hype movies of the summer?
We were genuinely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It genuinely was like, this could be so good. This could be so good. Come on. And then I remember going to see it, and I was like, okay. What?
Yeah.
It's the same movie again? What?
And yes, it's the same movie again. And the thing is, there's a bit at the start that could have been the most interesting part of the movie, and then they just cover over it. It's the ground war in Africa. That could have been an amazing film. That if they switched out all of the flying and the jets and the spaceships for an actual ground battle between the aliens, that would have been absolutely amazing. Would completely refreshing.
Hang on here, Tom. I had to bring up the review for Independence Day. We're still talking about Independence Day Resurgence. Independence Day is not a perfect movie, but goddamn, it's an energetic, fun, loud, cheesy action fest that has rightly become much loved to many a generation. We've been clamouring for a sequel for years now, and finally, almost 2 decades to the original's release, here it is, Independence Day Resurgence. Is it worth the wait?
Why are we saying this?
No, not even close, said Tom. It doesn't come close.
What did I say?
That's what you said there. That's your fucking review.
Yeah, no, why did you read that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just felt like I'd give you some props and some excitement.
Yeah, no, but you said it as you wanted to fucking kick me up the arse or something. Why did you read it?
No, I didn't. I don't want to kick you up the arse with anything. I'll leave you go for another week and you clean yourself out.
It wasn't even close, because what I was saying there about the ground war, that would have been amazing. But what they did is they just recycled everything again.
But it's just Hollywood lazy filmmaking at its...
The fucking ending? I'm sorry. This really pisses me off. Come here. The ending...
Let's get one thing straight, Tom. Don't ever fucking touch me again.
The end...
fucking stab you with a fucking tripod.
The ending... They set up a sequel.
Nobody wants to see
and a second later, the movie's over. They couldn't have had a denouement. They couldn't have tried to end it better.
Yeah. Anyway,
what does it say about us that when we're talking about the shit stuff, we get the most animated?
That's because the good stuff doesn't need to be sold.
Yeah, that's true.
The bad stuff needs to be whipped and punched and kicked. So we're talking about the worst movies of summer 2016. Drop us a quick comment if you're watching us live on Facebook Live on video. Or, of course, you can also email podcast@themoviebit.com when you get a chance if you're listening to this on Stitcher or iTunes. Okay. Anyway, shall we go on to something else?
Are we finished talking about it?
Oh, God, no. We're not finished talking about anything. The DCEU.
Oh, yes.
The DCEU. So this was I guess the summer doesn't include Batman v Superman, but it kind of set us up for disappointment.
Yeah.
And then there was some unbelievable trailers turned up for Suicide Squad, which were Cut to Queen. They were incredibly, as the trailer goes, they were incredibly well done.
They were Guardians of the Galaxy-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were absolutely fucking epic. And then we went to see the movie, and we wondered, is this what the fuck went on? Cause Ting got crazy in that movie. Oh shit. It was just, what the fuck?
I think I kind of sat down and I mulled it over. I think I found a problem with the DCEU. Warner Brothers hadn't learned their lesson from Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much studio interference.
Okay.
The story's going that David Ayer and the studio, they test the two test audience. They showed two different cuts.
Apparently there was three.
Three.
There was three. One was the serious one was the comedy one, and then there was another one which kind of had mashed up the other two.
Yeah, and apparently the audiences reacted better to the studio cut. So this is, I only found out this recently. Another twist to the tale is that the studio brought in the company that made the trailer, the Bohemian Rhapsody trailer we all loved. They brought that in to edit the movie.
Okay.
Yep.
Which Zack Snyder should have learned with another movie that he did many moons ago, that like a 2-hour or 19-minute pop video doesn't really fucking work. What movie am I talking about?
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because I forgot the name and I just needed to flash it into my head.
So yeah, and you can see that there's something going on there. The first half hour, there is a needle drop every 10, 15 minutes. No, not even 10, 15 minutes, every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It is pretty cool. The first half hour is what I liked about it, introducing old Suicide Squad.
Even though if Will Smith's character Deadshot was introduced 5 times.
Yeah,
but I mean, I left that slide because I did like the way it set everybody up, and you're like, oh fuck, this is actually going to be good.
You didn't need the target scene. You didn't need the scene where he's shooting all the targets. So yeah, every character introduced gets their own theme song. Of course, Amanda Waller got Sympathy for the Devil. Killer Croc got Fortunate Son for some reason. House of the the prison got its own theme song, House of the Rising Sun. So that was fine. Okay, lots of movies have done that. What, you can just like brush it aside. That's fine. The fact that they don't do it again for another hour and a half, once they hit the city,
it's like, oh, let's put in the other movie now. Quick, somebody load that in.
That's it. It's another movie. They're just using the score. There's none of the kind of little flourishes that the first half hour had, and it just becomes a normal just trudge through superhero tropes and action movie tropes and all that. And we're going to talk about Jared Leto.
Fuck Jared Leto.
Yeah. Also,
sorry, it's just he ruined the fuck. Whatever kind of saving grace thing was in the movie, anytime that fucker came on screen, he ruined it.
Yeah,
he is the worst incarnation of the Joker ever.
He could have been anyone. He could have been just any random mob boss.
I so fucking wish he was.
Yeah. And like, if you believe him, there's okay. He says that there's 20 minutes of extra Joker footage. There's an entire movie of extra Joker footage in there. If you watch the trailers, there's a lot more there. There's him in the tuxedo with half his face burnt off. So yeah, I think that pissed a lot of people off as well. The fact that they built the movie around the Joker. He's in all the trailers.
But he's
he's on the posters. He's fourth billion on the poster beside Margot Robbie.
See, here's the thing, right? And here's something where I have an issue with. If you're a fan of the original Batman TV series, you remember Cesar Romero.
Yeah.
Who was the Joker, who was, refused to shave his mustache and all that stuff. but was good.
Yeah.
For the time, was a good character who was a perfect fit for that Batman TV show.
Yeah.
If you look at the Jack Nicholson Joker, which, you know, there was all excitement and Oscars and buzz, and, you know, he got fucking $1 trillion for every word he spoke and all of this kind of
He's
stuff.
probably still making money off the back end.
Yeah. I mean, Nicholson was good, was very good at the time.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look at Burton's Batman now, not so much. Right?
It doesn't hold up now.
But, right, and the character doesn't hold up.
No.
You know? And he did dial it in, really. But, again, at the time, and when your memories of it are, oh, it's a fucking great movie. You never go back and see it again. And then you get Heath Ledger as the Joker for Christopher Nolan, which kind of, you know, you see this gradual increase of quality of the character and evolving the character.
Yeah.
So we're going up this way, and then Ledger's at the very, very top, and then fucking Leto comes in and just it falls down.
Yeah.
And he destroyed any kind of history of that character on screen.
Yeah, no, he did. He was
completely fucking destroyed any history of the Joker on screen. And like he signed up for so many more movies as that character.
Yeah, we don't know how many.
We don't know how many. I hope it's none.
Like, there's going to be Suicide Squad 2. It made 700 million, so it did well.
I would personally, as someone who edits video every single day, I would love to get fucking like
everything.
I would love to just get like the 3 versions, and I would love to have a go. That could be like a fucking competition for Warner Brothers. Here, give us a good cut of fucking Suicide Squad. Like, here's terabytes of files. Thanks a million. See you later.
Like, you do know there's going to be an ultimate cut. Like,
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, and what kind of business practice is that for Warner Brothers? Yes, people go out buy the DVD, but they buy the DVD anyway. Why do you have to make a shit movie and then make it slightly better by adding in everything you cut out?
Will it be slightly better? Maybe it'll be slightly worse.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, my comment on that is it's Jared Leto's the worst incarnation of the Joker. He has destroyed any cinematic history of that character.
Yeah.
And I'm far from like, oh, Heath Ledger this, Heath Ledger that, you know, but as that character goes, Ledger's was the best performance.
Yeah.
Somebody else may outdo that for the 15th reboot in time to come, or maybe not.
For me, for a multiple Joker that's been on different media and has killed it every time, Mark Hamill as a Joker. He's still going on. But back to the movie.
Even if they took the animated Joker, and I know they tried to have a go at taking some influence on the visual look of that Joker for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Which they kind of got it. They didn't get it right at all.
No. Yeah, kind of. You can see that big jacket he wears. That's kind of, they're trying to kind of go a bit killing joke-ish, yeah. But yeah, it didn't work. And another thing that didn't work about Suicide Squad was the villains. Because we can't say who the villain was. They didn't keep it secret.
Fuck it, I don't care.
Enchantress was villain, Cara Delevingne, and pretty much
nobody cares about that movie fucking badly enough to write us a fucking letter.
Yeah,
I regret saying that now.
God, they love writing letters. Yeah, there was no point to her. There was like, this is 80% of what she did. She just danced. There was no reason for her to be there.
You're fucking throwing money at Tom.
Yeah. Like, she was just dancing in front of a special effect. And then when they finally fight her at the end, she becomes a video game boss with 2 forms. And they try to do an emotional beat as well at the end, try to hark back to that earlier scene with Deadshot, and it just doesn't work because
you know what? Fuck it. This turned Warner and DC.
No. Just fuck this. No. Okay, look. A bad movie is a bad movie. A badly written movie is a badly written movie. We're here to talk about the worst of summer 2016.
I've lost the will to live.
Okay, I'll stop you when you go on your rant about fucking Ghostbusters.
I've nothing bad to say about Ghostbusters. I've nothing good to say about Ghostbusters. They should have all been fucking shot.
Okay,
Which
but-
is a bit fucking extreme. Fair enough.
So I let you go on.
Yeah, no. But I think we've kind of fucking put the boot into DC.
Yeah, it's...
And again, like
we don't want to.
If you listen to the podcast and if you go back and count, I don't know, I've lost count how many times I've said that Batman and Superman are the biggest and fucking most well-known characters in the fucking
Joker.
and the whole comic in the whole world when it comes to characters. Fuck your Mr. Darcy and Sherlock Holmes. People know. You can go to a fucking jungle in the middle of wherever.
Well, Batman is basically Sherlock Holmes.
And see, and somebody will know who Superman is.
Yeah.
You know? They will know. For whatever reason, they may have never fucking seen him, but they fucking know it's Superman. Okay? And how they got all of this wrong so badly, especially when Nolan set this up just to keep going. But again, people are swinging their fucking dicks around going, I don't want to do that Chris Nolan stuff with Alba. I want to do me on, man. It's probably not how Zack Snyder speaks in real life, but, you know.
It's what I said before, it's studio interference.
But it's always been the way.
They want to make an extra buck.
And I've said it for fucking years now in this podcast that they never knew what to do with those characters. And you know, we're
had
seeing
them for
that.
how long has Warner Brothers owned DC?
Fucking too
20,
long.
30 years? And they're only doing it now?
Okay, all right, let's move on. The other worst movie of summer 2016, Paul Feig's Ghostbusters. It should have never been done.
Yeah.
They're looking at $100 million plus write-off for the Ghostbusters. It's not even called Ghostbusters Redo, it's just fucking Ghostbusters, which is a huge kind of...
On DVD, it's Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge kind of fucking... sweeping glove of arrogance in one sense. Figures for Ghostbusters, $227 million worldwide. That ain't close to making its money back in any shape or form. Production budget roughly 144 million. Let's round that up for Matt's sake to 150. Okay. This thing needs 300 million to be anywhere close to breaking even. Will it pull that back in home release?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think any movie has pulled that back in home release.
Maybe over a long period of time. You're going to play the long game, but I
2058.
think, yeah, I think Ghostbusters is up there.
Yeah, it's
a shining example of one of these things that shouldn't be done.
Yeah, and like my biggest problem with it is that it spends so much time trying to remind you of the originals that it forgets to be its own movie. Mm-hmm. The first 5 minutes, you see a portrait that's exactly the same style as Vigo the Carpathian.
Just don't remind me, Tom. Just don't. I'd love to know where the and like Hollywood works in algorithms and focus groups.
Yeah.
I'd love to know where the focus group was, where a bunch of fucking people said, "Yeah, we'd like to see ourselves a new Ghostbuster movie. Oh yeah, boy!" And then somebody somewhere in Sony says, "Oh yeah, people might want to see this. Let's ask a few more people." "Oh, I'd like to see me a new movie of them Ghostbusters." No, who the fuck did they ask?
Dan Aykroyd.
No, I think Aykroyd needed to pay off that vodka, basically. Yeah. He fucking needed an extension for a cellar or some shit. And whatever about the movie being bad, the way they fucking handled, allegedly, the original cast, where it was a case that they couldn't get Murray, but it was more or less the case that, you know, they were pushing, well, we own the fucking rights to the character. Yeah. Fuck you, get in there and do it, or we'll see you in court. That's all the allegations that are out there. And the way they paraded out on the late night talk shows in the States and danced like monkeys was fucking disgusting. To me, about anything else was disgusting. That you don't take a shit on these characters which are beloved by hundreds of millions of people around the world.
Yeah, and then
just don't.
The way they handle the cameos as well. Bill Murray gets, I think the longest of it, he gets like 15 minutes of it.
Look, it's rare we say don't go see or don't watch a movie. Don't fucking watch Ghostbusters. No. And I think finally it was an example of people power going, we don't want this.
Yeah.
And pushing back to Hollywood. You know, but there'll be a fucking sequel somewhere.
I don't.
No,
think so.
I don't think they will either.
No.
All right, so there you go. Best and worst of summer 2016. Hope you enjoy that. And again, if you have anything to add, maybe you think that we've got this wrong, and Ghostbusters is the movie of the summer, then email us, podcast@themoviebit.com. Right, time to unleash your critically acclaimed screen actor on a movie that he hasn't been a part of yet.
A critically acclaimed screen actor quotes movies he hasn't started.
What is the most resilient parasite? Bacteria? A virus? An intestinal worm? An idea? Resilient. Highly contagious. Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks right in there somewhere. He might have been bad in Inception.
No.
He might have been, our critically acclaimed screen actor, I think, would have fitted nicely in Inception.
Yeah, he has the gravitas for a movie like that.
He's got the balls. He's got the balls.
I prefer gravitas.
Okay, all right. Right, let's start at the bottom and work back up.
Okay.
A little later on this evening, you need to haul your backside onto themoviebit.com because you will see Kevin Hart, who is soaring the crest of successful waves for quite some time. He's teamed up with David Beckham. You're going to pick your line. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you can see this now happening in the flesh. Yeah.
He's been doing it for a while. There's been like snippets of ads for H&M. That's what they're advertising.
But this is a big kind of this is a short movie.
Yeah, this is what they're building towards. Like,
so you can check it out in themoviebit.com.
Yeah.
We'll say no more. It's there later on. Okay. The Rock, right? Speaking of Kevin Hart, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has been busting out some story details for Jumanji, which is not a remake.
no, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Yeah. So they released a photo. It's in the jungle, and it is Dwayne Johnson as Dr. Smolder Bravestone, Kevin Hart as Moose Finbar, Karen Gillan, last seen in Guardians of the Galaxy with no hair, as Ruby Roundhouse, and Jack Black as Professor Oberon Shelley, and they're all dressed in adventurer gear. And it's, a lot of people said, okay, so are we going inside the game? And yes, it seems we are, because he announced four new actors playing Jumanji Juniors. And
That's a big cast.
yeah, it's 8 people.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's only the main cast. Like, okay, the main cast is Johnson, Hart, Gillan, and Black. And then the 4 other kids, it's been rumored that they're going to play 4 kids in detention who find the game, and then they're playing the game, and their avatars are the 4 lads in the game.
Okay.
And apparently they're looking for some jewel. So yeah, it looks like the entire movie is going to be set in the game as opposed to the game encroaching on the real world, but who knows what third act holds. And there's another rumor floating around that it's no longer a board game. It's a video game. Which kind of, I expected, a couple of my friends expected it. Kind of, it's probably going to be like a NES or something.
That's a bit predictable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a movie starring Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson.
Not that we're saying that they star in predictable movies or anything.
They starred in. God, I don't know how to say this without insulting people. they star in blockbusters, which are.
Ain't nothing wrong with a blockbuster.
Nothing wrong with a blockbuster. So like it's probably because like 8-bit and retro is all the rage now. It'll probably be a NES game, probably be fucking an 8-bit emulator or something.
Were you a NES or a Master System?
I was a Master System.
Okay.
Right. Never gonna Mega Drive.
Right. Okay, look, to hell with this Jumanji stuff, right? That's the spiel, right?
Yeah.
Here's something that's probably one of the most bizarre stories that you'll hear in quite some time.
I love this story.
Michael Bay, King Arthur, Nazis, Transformers 5. Tom.
Yes. So yeah, Transformers: The Last Knight coming out next year in June, and the story has kind of been kept under wraps. God, I can see you just waiting to say something.
No, I'm not. I'm just enjoying this moment.
The story's been kept under wraps, and kind of recently details have been coming out. We heard rumours that King Arthur, the Arthurian legend, was going to play a part in it. So they cast Liam Garrigan to play King Arthur, and the really strange thing is he played the character in TV show Once Upon a Time. Like, I doubt there's going to be a Once Upon a Time crossover, but that'd be fucking amazing. So yeah, King Arthur. That's going to be part of Transformers lore. Has happened before. Original sci-fi properties have kind of crossed over with existing legend. Grand. Fine. Nazis are going to be in it too. So this came out because they went to Blenheim House, it was the birthplace of Winston Churchill.
All right, Winston. All right, mate.
All right, Ridzer, how are you? So they went filming in Blenheim House, and they turned it into Hitler's headquarters.
I think only a Michael Bay movie could fucking do that.
They draped the building in swastika flags, and they have jackbooted SS uniform wearing extras and German tanks running around the grounds. And
can you imagine living there and you wake up in the middle of the night to go down to the kitchen and get a glass of water or whatever, and then you look across and you're like, there's fucking swastikas and tanks and fucking Nazi shit everywhere, and you're going, what the fuck? I'm going back to bed.
Yeah. The best part,
Michael Bay is knocking at your door. We're just going to be another few minutes. It's okay.
I'm just going to explode this tree. The best part of this, Winston Churchill is buried a half a mile away. Kind of disrespectful, but hilarious at the same time.
You see, I think they will play up that publicity on the negative side of it hugely, so people will go, fuck them cunts, fuck them fucking Nazi lovers, I'm going to go see this Transformers fucking 5.
Michael Bay has come out saying it means no disrespect. Like, a lot of veterans have come out against this, as they would. You would. I
think unless you're a Nazi, you probably would go coming on.
So yeah, Michael Bay has come out and said, I mean nothing by it. Wait till you see the movie, it'll make sense. It fucking won't, Michael. But
maybe it will. Maybe he'll blow up the house.
Maybe he will.
He'll blow up the house.
Big, he'll blow it up digitally. Yeah. But he kind of says he means no disrespect to veterans, and I don't think he does, because watch all of his movies. He loves the military, so there's no way he is actually doing this.
Well, he loves the military, and the military loves him.
Yeah. So he's not doing this out of spite, it seems, but where the fuck is this story going? Because we have King Arthur.
Did he not say not so long ago that Transformers need to go back to basics and tone it down a bit?
That was fucking King Arthur and Nazis basics.
You know?
And mini Dinobots. Yes, there's going to be mini Dinobots in this as well.
Great. Yeah. So yeah, I really don't want to wait for this movie. I don't want to see it at all.
I want to see what they fucking do. And if you want to look at the poster, there's a giant space station. What? There's dragons in the poster as well. What the hell are you doing, Michael Bay? Please just tell us.
Please call us and tell us. Do you want to talk to us?
What's the email address again?
podcast@themoviebit.com. Thanks, Mike. We look forward to your email.
Yeah.
You can look forward to our equally stupendous reply. Let's go see but there is probably no good way of painting that picture.
You put a swastika flag on Winston Churchill's house. There's no spin out of that.
That's like
That's
like fucking someone spraying Star Trek graffiti outside Mark Hamill's house.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's about as good as we could come up with.
Or turn up in William Shatner's house in a Chewbacca costume.
Well, I'd like to see that. Anyway, so that is it. Yeah. We are done and dusted. All 50 odd minutes of us are thereabouts. So thank you for watching on Facebook Live. If you just tuned in, you were after missing it. However, you can watch it again in the next 10 minutes or so. All of this will be replayable. And of course, if you subscribe to the Movie Bit on Facebook Live, you'll get a notification each time that we do indeed go live. And speaking of subscribe, you can subscribe on the podcast, and you can subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher as well. Each and every Monday we are here, and of course in between that, a ton of other interviews as well. And of course we are saying that Young Offenders is one of the best movies of the summer. Yep. If you subscribe to the podcast, then you can hear an exclusive interview with the director and writer of The Young Offenders, Peter Foot. Right, his name is Tom White, my name is Victor Barry. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, people. Goodbye, everybody.
The MovieBit.com podcasts. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, direct download, and streaming on themoviebit.com. Streaming